over the internet, over the network, looping someone else's conversation, like landline communication and mobile phone, email, instant messages, don't know. Many kinds of communication can be eavesdropped, because people just want to know what you're sending through your network. And it's very well known that people in universities use it, in corporations use it, in internet cafes, home networks. Many people is using eavesdropping, is leaving your networks. So you should never trust the network you're using. We all, in Brazil, I don't know here, but in Brazil it's legal if your corporation where you're working to, if they eavesdrop your communication and check the emails you're receiving, it's there. They can do it, and they can even fire you if you're not changing emails related to the corporation, One important aspect of eavesdropping is the echelon. The echelon is a military facility supposed to track all information, to sleep over databases on some patterns. It's an international eavesdropping system involving USA, UK, Canada, and many other countries. And they have many stations and where they route your data through to capture it and to analyze it and to profile you. So through the echelon, if you are talking to a friend and you just say the word that's wrong, something they are expecting you, and your phone call is stored in labeled as a dangerous phone call, and so maybe the CIA will look for you. Well, telephony, for example, is not a great deal, Much before hacking exists, we all know that wiretapping was true. We all can read a lot about it at the hacker crackdown. Everyone knows that mobile phones also are being tapped, but it's much more sophisticated and much more expensive to do. But in CCC we had the GSM concerns people trying to break into GSM, and it's not. Many people said that it's all possible now, and eavesdropping void is also possible. I don't know who of you have been in contact with tools, but we had tools that simply tracks the snippet conversations and changes it to a WAV format, to MP3 format, so you can hear to the conversation then. So about VoIP eavesdropping, is very sophisticated, Full traffic analysis is a great talk. I would like to have much more things to tell about it, because it's a very worrying problem. Traffic analysis intercepts their communication and deduce information from patterns. It's not worried about the information. It has a great topic. It analyzes and correlates captured data to provide detailed information. The amount of information that runs through these networks, it's too big to be analyzed by a human. So they had to develop a system, maybe an artificial intelligence system, to analyze this data and provide some useful information for them. So this is the great spot of this topic. It's a data mining service that makes the dirt work for them, because it's impossible to do as a human. So, how to hack the network eye? How can you improve your security over all these threats? Well, the first topic is using cryptography. It's the most old way to avoid eavesdropping, to avoid spies. Use it since many times. You can hide your traffic from watchers, and you can use security protocols like TLS, SSL, and you can use lots of tools like PGP just to encrypt your data. On your routing is also cool stuff to use Tor to route your data through a peer-to-peer network, and many times make it harder to understand what we're trying to do. When you access an endpoint, you are doing it over another machine, through another machine, sorry, and they can't track who you are or where you are, you know? And it's have been recently hacked by the hackers.org guys, hackers.org guys, and we've seen that it's you know, there's a way. In fact, there are 3 ways to recover the real IP from the user, maybe even if he's using Tor, you know. The peer-to-peer nodes are also unneutral, like those evil gateways on the internet. So people on these nodes might be sniffing your data and capturing your data, mainly the endpoints of Tor where data is and cryptography. Well, we need to find ways to improve Tor because it is a great tool, and but it has many flaws. Another great feature that people are creating now are the privacy boxes. That is a new concept of security, you know. They are just building boxes with one button, and they had all these servers and all these features inside, and you just plug in your computer and you just plug in it on the internet, maybe to your DSL modem, and just turn the button and you are on the internet with all these services available. You know, it's very interesting. Well, how to hack the Echelon? It's a very interesting way, because it's an artificial intelligence system and data miner, you know. It's always concerns about understanding your data, but it's not real intelligent, not yet at least. And it's based on pattern analysis. So, as everything else, we can always hack pattern analysis, like in the IDS system where you can create shell codes that runs away from the pattern. Here you can create your own messages and maybe run away from the pattern. It's the basic. But many times what people are doing is the Echelon spoofer, a system to show you messages that probably are in the Echelon system labeled as dangerous words, and you just attach these words to your messages, and you probably are floating them with unimportant messages and make the system more ineffective. Here you can see an example where we have a recipe of a cake with many dangerous words, you know, bomb, White House, president, red cell, virus. And when this message goes through the network, it's just a recipe. But when it goes through the network, Echelon understands all these words and analyzes it and says, whoa, bomb in the White House, virus? No, this is a dangerous word. And they keep your message and they had to analyze it, so we're floating them with unimportant stuff, you know. About security telephony, it's a great topic too. It's based on voice mixing, scrambling, and encryption. But we all know that this isn't very popular. Most of us in Brazil at least, we don't use cryptographed telephones. Mainly because they are very expensive and they need ISDN lines. There are many commercial solutions for encrypted voice and tests on smartphones, and you can try to avoid traces with caller ID spoofing. We had security telephones from Security Telephone. That is a project that is available on the internet, but okay. Now let's talk about defective by design, or DRM and stuff. Well, first we'll talk about trusted computing. That is a very new feature that the computers are bringing, you know. The main topic of trusted computing is to make computers behave in well-known ways. You just use a platform that is able to understand if some code is a good code and if another code is a bad code. And they execute only only executes the good code, you know. What the developer said is that the computers would be much more safer against viruses, but it's also a hardcore DRM system. You know, it's very restrictive, because users can't simply choose who they trust. You know, it's the biggest problem around this. You just wouldn't be able to simply change your system and keep things running easier. You know, changing software would be a bigger problem too, and you wouldn't have anonymity, because these systems are dependent on digital signatures. You know, so while you have your digital signature inside your computer will never be anonymous anymore. It also depends on this trusted platform moduling, the TPM, that is the moduling on the hardware that would authenticate the codes and things to execute and all information. So we don't know, is it security or is it freedom? Never both, you know, but probably or maybe none of them will be brought by this kind of computing, you know. Well, DRM, we've been through a great DRM battle these days, that it's the iPhone's problem, you know. People trying to release iPhone to work with any telephony operator, but iPhone has a contract to work only with AT&T. So what is DRM? DRM are restrictions applied to hardware to make it only to work only one way. You know, they sell you a cell phone that would work only with AT&T. So it's a DRM. But the cell phone is able to work with another operator. So if I bought the cell phone, if I want the cell phone to work with another operator in Brazil, where is the problem? I don't know, you know. So they are trying to restrict the use of your hardware. It's also very used in video games, you know, like you have people trying to avoid homemade CDs, and there are people creating mod chips to break video game related DRM. And it's sorry. And we've seen also the Sony DRM problem in 2005, where they just inserted a rootkit inside their CDs, and when you were trying to copy the CD, the rootkit would be installed in Windows, and this rootkit was exportable, so your computer just became vulnerable to attacks, you know. So it's also a great problem, because the vendors many times are not ethical, so they're selling things with unknown related stuff. In the end of the presentation, we'll see that iPhone sends information from you to their database. So, this kind of hardware, it's defective by design, you know. It's not okay. So perhaps we should just ask for our rights. Well, how to fix the hardware? So, well, we have reverse engineering, that is the process to make things from top-bottom point of view. You know, you get the hardware and you try to hit the code and the assemblies and everything, and you understand how the system works, and then you hack it. So it's very useful, mainly for breaking DRMs and trusted computing modules, because we would depend on it to make our computers work as we wish in the future, you know. We also have hardware hacking to change the default way that the hardware is working. So you get your computer, You improve your hardware, you make some connections, you put another chip just like they do at the video games, and then your computer or your video game or your iPhone is working as you would like to work, you know. Well, let's talk about personal tracking a little bit. There are only about 500 more slides. Don't be worried. RFIDs. RFID architecture is based on the reader and the tags. Maybe you all already know RFIDs. You have little tags that you attach to something, and you have readers that you expose in some place, and when people crosses, it's written, so they capture information. These tags might be attached to things like access cards, credit cards, passports, and AVI. AVI is automated vehicle identification. You know, they just put RFID in your car, and when you cross the red lights, they simply know that you were the one who crossed the red lights. Well, maybe this is a good stuff, you know, making people respect the law might be a good stuff, but who trusts that this information will be used only for good purposes? I don't. Well, so it can be used also to identify people, as it's already being done in passports. So many people say that it's the mark of the beast, you know. Will you accept the number? Well, so enables full-time tracking. It's a big problem, I guess. Wireless sensor networks and body sensor networks, it's a very new related stuff. Mainly, it's not being very widely used in commercial purposes yet, because it's in development in universities. Wireless sensor networks are, you just dispose the sensor nodes, and they keep a wireless network through them, and they just send all this information to a sensor node that generate all the relatories and everything that people need, you know. The U.S. Army is developing wireless sensor networks to be used on the war field, you know, which is called smart dust, to dispose on the war field and capture information from the enemy if he's trying to come, if he's transporting some kind of equipment. And in a much dangerous approach, I guess, there is the body sensor networks that are sensors that you dispose over your body to control your functions, to, you know, to watch if you are okay. But these body sensor networks are, you know, they just check if your heartbeat's okay. If your heartbeat is too slow, so it is able to inject adrenaline in your body and makes you okay, just in an automated way. But it's a problem, no? Because all these technologies are still too new, too full of bugs. In Brazil, we have a group developing a system to watch the heartbeat through a cell phone, you know, using a cell phone to communicate with your doctor. Until then, I don't see any problem, but the problem is that they pretend in future to use it to make self-medication. And this is, they have no worry, they have no concern about security, about cryptography in the systems. So maybe in the future you will be walking with your body sensor network, watching if your glucose level is okay, and someone will just hack into your network, and you know, it's very dangerous. Well, it's the basic architecture of a sensor node. In a sensor node, you have a power source, you have all your sensors and actors. You have a network module and a CPU and memory. You know, it's a basic computer, but it's not Well, it's hardware architecture, you know, because probably they are using microcontrollers, not processors. So, well, next. So now let's talk about how to hide yourself from this kind of new techie. Lots of RFIDs have well-known hacks. You have many books about RFIDs, you know, teaching how to hack it. You have many documents over the internet teaching many techniques to pass through RFID, and we all know that it isn't secure, you know. Who trusts that if all the cars, they all have an RFID, so who trusts that maybe you won't change your RFID and put Julio's RFID in your car and cross all the red lights, and then he will have a lot of taxes to pay. You know, it's another problem. Radio frequencies can be very easily jammed. We all know this. They can be easily read. The text and reader communication can be intercepted, and the manipulation allows spoofing, replace, jamming. We had many problems through these topics. Many solutions too. You know, people are developing many solutions, but at least in Brazilian RFIDs, at least in my town, people don't have this worry yet. About the sensor networks, problems related to sensor networks. Well, we know that all software has bugs, you know. So the sensor nodes have processing capabilities. So it's running a software, and many of them are running operating systems like TinyOS, FreeRTOS, Linux, or Windows. And we all know, as I said, that software has flaws. So just get your shellcode to a very exotic microcontroller and go to exploit it, you know. The analogic sensors can also be easily deceived, you know. If you have a heat sensor, so you can get your lighter and go to the sensor, and then you are cheating the system, you know. You can remove the power supply easily too. It's very easy to identify where are the batteries. So we can go there and remove them. So the network models, as their communication through radio frequency, they are susceptible to manipulation attacks like spoofing, replay, and denial of service. So this is not secure already. Now about profiling. Come on. Well, first let's talk about Google over the internet. Yeah. Google stores data about your search, and it's not a great news. We all know it. Google's on your Gmail emails, and it's not a new. We all know it. And Google is always tracking your steps over the internet. So would Google be the next big brother, the new big brother? Why it has to keep so much data about its users, you know? And it's always it's also a tool that you can use to research about someone else. If you go to the Google and you just type someone else's names, you will retrieve much information about him probably. We also have another new problem that are the social networks, where people are exposing themselves, not worried, not concerned about security, about the importance of hiding much information about their lives, where we can find tons of personal information exposed, you know. And it's very used in social engineering attacks. You can use it to retrieve information and to maybe guess passwords and tons of stuff, you know. Well, the main process of building someone's profile, it depends on some or on the data mining process. The data mining process is a artificial intelligence based method to correlate all information you have about someone and try to understand some patterns, you know. When you go to the mall or to the supermarket and you are buying beer, many people's many people like to have beer and eat some nuts or don't know. But this is a pattern. So when you are going to pay your bill, the machine you pass your shoppings there, and they just understand that you are buying beer with nuts, and someone else does it, and they just buy beer with nuts. And so why not to dispose in the supermarket beer and the nuts side by side in the shelves? This way they can sell much more beer and much more nuts. So these patterns are helping companies and corporations to build many profiles through the world. We also have direct marketing that people, and mainly Google, they're doing after building your profile. They know what you like, so they know what to send to you. They simply can send you, if you are always reading about football, if you are always receiving mails about football, then they just send you information and try to sell you football teams, t-shirts and stuff. It's extensively used by you. So, are we playing hide and seek with Google? We all know that free mail providers and ISPs are not neutral. They never trust, as you should never trust their privacy. In Brazil, we had a discussion that Gmail, in its license, in its term of agreement, it's exposed that they will own your mail and that they can do everything they want with your mails. So, well, at least they're being honest, because I really think that any other free email provider will do the same, and I have no doubt about it. So Gmail is not the only one. Maybe keeping your emails in your own server is much safer. Tor can help you anonymizing your navigation to avoid some profile. If you are famous, you probably won't hide from Google, because many people will write about you. If you are not famous, ask your friends to not write about you, not to expose your pictures on the internet and stuff. And mainly, if you are trying to hide, just leave social networks or keep it a low profile if you think that it's a useful feature. Other ways to hide from profilers. It's really hard to it's really hard to run away from behavior patterns, because well, you like beer and you like nuts, so you want to buy beer and you want to buy nuts. It's a pattern, I guess that the most of us wouldn't go to the supermarket twice just to make it different, So it's very hard to avoid this profiling. So maybe being Wacken exotic may be a good choice, but it's not easy, because beer is not so good with eggs as it is with nuts, So, but breaking this pattern behaviors is the only way to avoid profiling. So it's a problem, it's a hard problem, and I don't see a way to break through it yet. An easy way. Test-based profilers are much easier to bypass, because the same way we did with Echelon, you just understand which data he's trying to capture, and you insert capture data or nonsense data through your messages, and you are bypassing them. Another way, you can move to the mountains. It's a great place, a great lifestyle, fresh air, sweet water, no smoke, but no girls too, so.
They can provide that you too.
Sorry?
They can provide you there too.
Yeah.
I tried it. They tracked me down, so.
Yeah. Well, they have satellites, so they can keep you watch it 24 hours.
I'm what about cell phones? Because the best way to track a person is about using his cell phone, you know in which area he is, and most cell phones have GPS now and are sending this information to the companies. Even in the United States, when you dial 911 and your cell phone has a GPS that sends information to the center of 911 so they know exactly where you are. And well, too many drug deals, friends of mine, are going down because of that, and it's hard.
Yeah, it's a hard problem, you know, because cell phones are really a way to track people, because you have networks and you have cells of networks through your town, and you have services from other countries. And probably if I had brought my cell phone to Argentina, I left it in Brazil, everyone would know that I was here just if they had access to the cell phone company. It's a great problem too, mainly related to GPS stuff you just said to us. So I thank you for the contribution. It's the main purpose of the presentation, to make everyone contributes and keep all this stuff well known. Thank you. Now let's talk about some news, some stuff that happened recently and that I've just attached it to the presentation. First, Apple is tracking iPhone usage. Well, they found in the code of these two apps in the iPhone, you know, stocks and weather, they found that your email, that is identification number in the cell phone, it's being sent through the internet to the Apple services. So in this way, Apple can know which application you are using, the IP address you are using. Consequently, they can know where you are just by the IP. So they can track all their customers around the world. If you go to Brazil and you use their weather application, they will know that you are probably through a 200 IP, and they will know that you are in Brazil. It's a way to track you out, you know. But this interesting thing that I just realized is that when he was talking, he said about the telephone operators tracking people, you know, because you have your cell phone, and when you go to Brazil, the cell phone operator knows that you are there. In this case, Apple knows that you are there, and Apple is not a cell phone operator, it's just a vendor from a cell phone, you know. So this is probably why they would like to do it, because they don't have access to AT&T's and other cell phones databases. Another important notice recent is that Rushmail is contributing with police investigations, and Rushmail always said that their messages were encrypted and they will never cooperate with police and stuff, you know. Rushmail claims to offer readable email as it uses BGP encryption technology. However, it seems the Canadian company has been divulging the case to the American authorities. So, you know, it's about what I said about the free mail providers. You just can't trust them. Rushmail always said that they were private, that they will never give your keys away, but now this is what we have. Rushmail is cooperating with police and with government, so it's not safe too. Well, let's finish. I guess you were expecting for this moment, hardly. Buy yourself a rifle, encrypt your data, and prepare for revolution. You know? Very nice. Sometimes being paranoid can be healthy. We all know that living as a paranoid is very hard, you know. It's not only hard, but it's just unfit, you know. You can't live as a paranoid, very paranoid, you know. You just can't go to the mountains. As he said, it's probably impossible to be hidden there too. But it can be healthy sometimes, you know. Sometimes hiding your data, encrypting your messages might be useful stuff. You know, I'm sorry to say about it, but it's something I need to say. When my friend's laptop was stolen yesterday, if he had many confidential data in his laptop, if it were encrypted, what would he do? You know, all his data would be exposed to we don't know who. So it can be healthy. It's a proof that it can be healthy. Encrypt everything you consider classified as your communication. Here are some tools you can use to encrypt your data, like PNUPG, PGP, mainly for emails. You can use SYNC OTR for instant messaging, SSL IRC, connecting through encrypted IRC to communicate, SIRC for relay chat. You can use VoIP through VPN. You can use encryptors for smartphones. You can use some tools like TrueCrypt and PGP disk to encrypt your files. And never forget to wipe them when you don't need them anymore. Well, here's some nice stuff related. Recently, I think that this hack was too cool. The hack from Access Camera. They just hacked the Access Camera. Sorry. And they could allow the video, they could replace the video stream, you know. They just found a way to insert an XSS exploit in the system, in the viewing system of the camera. So when the user just sits to watch who is going on the streets, they see maybe a porn movie, who knows. You can replace the traffic, you know. And it's a very nice hack, and if you were, I guess you should be interested in it. It's nice. You have Matelgo, that it's a tool to perform information gathering when you are trying to break into a network. It's very nice because it provides you much information. You have many keyloggers. We all know that over the internet there are keyloggers everywhere with screenshots, FTP connections, and available for download, easily available for download. And we also have, I don't know, maybe in Argentina, I guess you are not hard or cute users. You are using MySpace, isn't it? Don't know. But in Brazil, everyone have about 2 or 3 haircuts, you know. Everybody uses it very hardly. So the haircut stalking tools are useful to many people over there. These tools are always downloading scraps from your friends. They are always allowing visible navigation through your code, so people can track that you have visited them. So, you know, related stuff. Here are some good references. 1984 and Animal Farm, that are the mainly inspiration for this presentation. Great books from George Orwell. We also have Brave New World from Aldous Huxley and Discipline and Punish from Foucault. This last book isn't a history book, you know, it's a philosophy book, so you just read about behavior and about how to punish and about how to discipline, but it's also a very good book about this kind of stuff, maybe the base for the police and the laws that we have today, a base for many things we are passing through today. And we also have here many links to related stuff, like Big Brother Awards, EFF, data retention is no solution, Open Beacon, defective by design. This I like a lot this website. They had many cool videos that should be watched. Maybe, who knows, in a coffee break we can just show the movies to you. Very nice. You should go there. Research from Record, and here's the Tron's cryptophone thesis in German, but it's about cryptophone, you know, building your own cryptographed telephone. So might be nice. Some news and duplipensar.net. So our thanks. These thanks are mine and Julio's. Even he's not being here. Dad, mom, pets, and friends in Brazil. people from the Ekoparty staff that brought us here, and we are very glad to be here. It's been a very good travel for us, you know, and the conference is congratulated. It's fucking nice. Our friends from Rodrigo Rubira Branco and Domingo Montanaro that are not here because they just drink too much. Keira Agustina, who doesn't know her. Nice. Well, hacking concerned guys in Brazil, RFDS and Godfault. Plebe Rudy, that is a band from Brasilia, very nice, maybe you should listen to it. Some other friends, including him, and concerned people around the world, and thanks to you for being patient, for being here so early to watch me saying this nonsense stuff, and that's it. Thanks for your patience. I would like to know if somebody wants to make a compliment, just say something, just with us, or make a question. You know, it would be nice.
Just to keep talking for a while. So, two things. First of all, in year 2000, Bernstein publishes cryptanalysis of the Rsa encryption form and provide a way to track down the Rsa encryption private key infrastructure. In 2002, in a cryptographic conference, some guys come up with a way, with a proof of concept that a machine can build to do that, to break RSA and private public key infrastructure. So that was 2002. We are in 2007 now, so our friends of the NSA, I know that guys that have some $1 billion to spend a year, and maybe doing some cool stuff with that paper now. I don't know, but maybe you know something else about that. And the other thing I like to know is all these companies that are doing all these things, they are always using the law against us, are using the law to avoid us to do reverse engineering, to publish new bugs that we found. They are always using the law against us. Can't we use the law against them? They are just service providers to us. We are paying for that service. They don't own us. So our information is from us. And can we use the law against them as they use against us?
So, what we have seen in Brazil, what is well, in Brazil we've seen that corporates and the government, they are very, you know, they're really together in this field, and we, the consumers, we have not much power and not many things to do. In Brazil, we are really suffering a lot with traffic shaping, you know, and many people were trying to use the law against the companies, the ISPs, but things are not working because these companies that are making the traffic shaping, they are the same company that then will sponsor the public candidature of someone who wants to be a mayor or something. So because of this way, of this purpose of government, of system, these things are not working in Brazil. I don't know how it is in Argentina, if the laws are working here. But we have many problems with this in Brazil, you know, within using the laws against companies. Sometimes it works, because sometimes, you know, you can find a breach, or maybe the company is not very well related, or maybe the media is playing hard and helping to make something. But in most cases, things are not working. We are suffering a lot with traffic shaping, mainly, but we can't simply find a solution. We can't go to a judge and make them just release our broadband, you know. About the RSA cryptography, I don't know much more about what you said, you know. I just am worried because it's the pattern, you know. It's what being used today to make encryption through all systems, through all banks, and you know, it's the safe way, they said. But if it was broken in 2002, 2002, yeah, probably it's already broken here. What I've read is that they're using a mathematic way called hidden process of Markov to make this guess of keys in the SSH protocols. You know, they are using it that it's mathematics methods applied to computing to capture information and try to find it easier. So I would bet that a big company already had broken RSA and have many ways to break through it and to read your data and clear test. It's a problem. Someone else?
Yo voy a preferir hablar en español para que nos entendamos mejor, porque en inglés muy fluido no es. Pero lo que yo quería decir era que el otro día estaba viendo que salió una nueva tecnología que es para el craqueo de hashes, como los que están guardados en Shadow para acceder a proteger un sitio web, y utilizando tarjetas NVIDIA o ATI de procesamiento gráfico pueden acelerar la generación de hashes usando procesamiento paralelo, SIM, o sea, una sola instrucción para múltiples datos, y eso produce aceleraciones como de 50 veces la velocidad en el proceso del craqueado de los hashes. O sea, NVIDIA largó un API nuevo que se llama CUDA, que permite acceder todo el poder de proceso paralelo gráfico para utilizarlo en otras aplicaciones. Y ATI también sacó un API similar que también permite el acceso directo a la capacidad gráfica de las tarjetas. Porque anteriormente uno lo podía hacer, pero manipulando las rutinas gráficas, entonces era bastante enquilombado, o sea, complicado el asunto. Y también otra cosa más que, bueno, nosotros nos contactamos con Solar, que es el autor de Jack the Ripper, y dijo que por el momento no está trabajando en ponerle un módulo para que utilice esta tecnología, pero que bueno, que en el futuro podría llegar a ser.
Well, I had some good points to say about that. May I answer in English? Is okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if I didn't really understood 100% of what he said, but it's okay. I understand the most part. In Brazil, I work in a university in Brazil, in a biocomputing center. You know, we are always analyzing stuff like DNA and this kind of things. Well, there we had someone studying parallel computing using video cards. You know, he's just studying ways to make it to correlate data in DNA and stuff, because we had big computing problems with computational effort. No, they are very hard to solve. So we need this kind of stuff. In Unicamp, the biggest university in Brazil, we have people making grids with PlayStation 3. You know, they just build a grid with I think 11 or 12 PlayStation 3s, and they are using it with biocomputing related stuff. You know. And last point, in the last FRAC edition, I didn't know if you had seen it, the 64, there's an article known as Hacking Deeper in the System. It's a very nice article, something really new. Never have seen an article like that around. And the author explains about using hardware like video cards to break cryptography. You know, it's something you should go and look. It's a good article.
Okay, thanks.
Right? Someone else? Here? Here? Here?
Well, last night or before, the night before, I was reading about the new firmware that Apple and AT&T released for iPhones that crashed them. What do you think about locking the firmware so it can be accessed from the network?
Sorry, what I think about locking?
The firmware itself so it can be updated from the network.
Oh, you said about Apple. I didn't understand. Let me see if I understood. You said about Apple enabling users to make updates after they open their iPhones, their iPhones.
I mean, o iPhone para desbloqueou o iPhone. Tipo,
Não pode mais fazer update.
Quando fez o update, estragou quando
Ah, sim, sim. Yeah.
Existe.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Well, you know, many people who didn't open their iPhones also had problems with this too. So you know, it's they're trying to improve their DRM system to make the iPhones maybe more secure or maybe more a dummy iPhone who can make everything. But I think it's wrong, you know. I don't agree with DRM. I don't agree with people trying to break what you can do with your hardware. You know, it's all about freedom, and I think that hacking is about freedom. And I don't know, I just think it's wrong. It's my opinion. I think that they shouldn't have done it. And I really think that it's really nice that people who hadn't made the iPhone crack, that they had problems too, because this was a way to maybe Apple be a little bit more concerned about these people, you know. I just don't think that it was nice for the people, but to maybe give a lesson to Apple, and I don't know, you know, they had problems with this too. So I think it's nice. I don't agree with this kind of behavior, and I think it's very wrong. Something else you?
Yes, and what about the full implemented IP system on mobile phones?
What about?
Full IP implementation on mobile phones.
IP implementation is that using 802.11 in Wi-Fi networks on, I don't know. I think it's really nice. I would like to have one, you know. But well, I don't know. I never have seen if the implementation of the IP phones, if it has some kind of identification with your number, cell phone numbers like PIN and stuff, you know. But I really think that it's nice. I think that it will be many ways to track you, you know. They will do it in a way that they can track you as they are doing everything. Everything is being trackable today. But I really enjoy the idea of mobile computing, you know, and ubiquitous computing, using computer everywhere. And but I think that there are many things you should be worried about. I don't have a phone. I never have been using it. I don't know which are the backgrounds behind it, so I just don't know if it's safe or it's not safe. But it's something that should be analyzed, and people. I think that people around the world will make it as they are making with iPhone, and they have seen it they have seen the problem in the two softwares, stocks and weather, and I think that's it. Want to say something more? Someone else? So that's it. Thank you.